couple weeks ago, I made a video about neurotypical people teaching neurodiverse people to act more like neurotypical people. At the end, I kind of went off on a bit of a rant about my own feelings about that, but in the end, I just decided to cut that out because I thought it was distracting from what I was trying to say in the beginning. But this video is gonna be 100% a rant, so if you like watching that kind of thing, then this video is for you. I've volunteered at several places that work with autistic kids and autistic adults. They all have the same approach where if the autistic person starts their stimming, by rocking or shaking their hands when they get frustrated, the therapist always says, okay, next time that happens, we're not gonna freak out, we're just gonna use our words. But that happens a lot where the teacher or the therapist or whoever is working with the autistic person will try and suppress that stimming behavior and basically just try and replace it with more neurotypically approved behavior. And it just gets me thinking, why is it that we think that what they're doing is bad and what neurotypical people usually do is better? I mean, it's not like they're hurting anyone or anything for that matter, so it's only bad because it makes people uncomfortable to see something that they wouldn't normally encounter. And because neurotypical people generally act in a certain way just because that's what they prefer to do, we've sort of thought of that as being what is normal and acceptable, and anything that deviates from that is not correct and should be fixed. It's kind of like how with ableism we've thought of as stairs as just being more beautiful than ramps. Like maybe a long time ago when people first started building houses and public buildings, it was just easier to make stairs rather than a ramp. And over time we've just thought of stairs as being more attractive. And even today, when people do have enough space or enough money to build a ramp, they still choose to build stairs. That's just what we've grown up seeing, and we just associate it with being more visually attractive and preferable to anything else. And whenever I see that, I'm kind of like, hey, a ramp would probably be more beneficial to more people than stairs would. But we've just been used to seeing stairs everywhere that after a certain amount of time, if you're used to something, you start to prefer and think of it as being more beautiful than other things that could do the same job. I could talk about this for a while, but I'm gonna stop here. So, ableism rant over for now. So, back to neurodiversity. It just rationally doesn't make sense to me why someone would try and alter a person's behavior just because they want it to be something that they would be more comfortable around. But that being said, I do understand where these teachers and other therapists are coming from, because autistic people are forced to live in a world that is primarily occupied by neurotypical people. And you'll probably have more luck getting the services and things that you need out of life if your behavior aligns more with what the people giving you those services would expect. I mean, okay, this is just my opinion, but I think that it is everyone else's responsibility to be informed and understanding of the challenges that other people face. But I think if you are one of those people that have special circumstances, it's not very reasonable to expect that everyone will be informed about your situation. If you just walk into a random coffee shop one day, it's not very likely that everyone there will have understood or even heard of whatever issue it is they're facing. And while ideally everyone should be informed and accommodating for whatever your issue is, if you're expecting that in order to be able to get the service that you went there for, then statistically it's just not very likely that everyone will know exactly what they should do for you specifically. Most people are just concerned with their own lives and what's going on in their own inner circle. And to throw in understanding and being well educated about all the woes of the world is just, it's a lot for people to handle. So me, for my disability, when I go out places, I think, yeah, you should do your due diligence and find out about this and do the best to accommodate me and my disability. Realistically, I know people probably aren't going to want to spend all the time to look into every single issue in the world and be well informed about it, so they'll know when they see it out in real life what they need to do. I just hope they will, but I don't expect them to. So whenever I go somewhere, I need to make sure that I'll be able to get everything that I need there for myself without having to rely on other people to understand what I'm going through. I mean, if other people are willing to help me out, then that'd be nice, but I'm fully prepared that I'll have to do everything I need to do by myself. So for autistic people, whether we like it or not, we have to exist in a world where neurotypical people just have certain ways of doing things that they approve of. And while I think that, some stimming behaviors, it's not hurting anyone, so why are you upset by it? Maybe you need to be more understanding that not everyone is gonna have the same way of expressing themselves as you would. But that probably will never happen, so we can't rely on other people to make adjustments for us, so we kind of have to do it ourselves. And no, I don't like the idea of having to change parts of who I am in order to fit in with what other people want. But if you're in the minority, then the majority sets the rules and you just have to follow them one way or another. So that was my quick rant on neurodiversity. That's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully a less ranty video and more informative. Unless you like this sort of thing, then in that case I have lots more I could rant about.